everybody. It is Soncerae here. I appreciate you tuning into my live streams, as well as leaving your comments, as well as sharing, as well as emails that you guys send. It is awesome. I also appreciate your donations. I just want everybody to know that I did not reach my $5,000 goal yet. So people are still donating. All I did was really get my ticket out the way. Good morning, Ann. All I did was get my ticket purchase out of the way. It's unfortunate that I have to leave my dog here. You guys, if you haven't seen my dog Buttons, I usually put him in videos. There's pictures of me and him on Instagram and on Facebook. I've had him for about 5 years and I love him so much, but I got to leave him here because where I'm going, they actually have a cat. And until I move out of that place, once I get to San Francisco, I won't be able to bring my Yorkie. So I'm really torn about that. I'm really disappointed. And the reason why I was asking for $5,000 to begin with was so I could ship all of my things and be able to bring my dog and have a place, for my dog to be with me as well. Hey, Keisha. And it's unfortunate that I can't bring my dog. And I literally threw out half of my things and then I'm giving the rest of my things to Goodwill. And it's actually not that bad for me to be giving my clothes and my shoes away to Goodwill because I'm pregnant. So it's I can't fit any of my jeans anymore. So I have to throw my jeans out. I mean, shirts are too small now because my breasts are huge, so giving my clothes away to Goodwill is actually something that is a good thing. And it's not the first time I've given my stuff away. I'm pretty much big on donating. So I've donated clothes and food and money and stuff before. So it's not a foreign concept to me. But at the same time, it's damn, I really got to go to San Francisco with just me and my book bag and my baby. Hey, Sparkles. And, everyone's like you just said, Keisha, sometimes it's good to start all over. It's I'm starting over from fucking scratch. You know what I'm saying? Literally nothing. And I have to build from there. And that's not a foreign concept either because I've done that before. But at the same time, it's wow, just having to start all the way over. I don't know. Maybe I'll build better this time. I think Atlanta was one of these places where it was cool at first it was never really cool. I never really liked Atlanta like that, but I always have been a business oriented, career driven type of person. So when I came to Atlanta, all I was thinking about was my career really. And then when I started factoring in romance and relationships and family and shit like that, I think Atlanta is one of the worst places you can do that. In regards to the Black community, I feel like anybody who is African American, I think that you should try to live in multicultural places and try to find relationships in that way so you can be taught another way to handle your relationships outside of how the Black community does. Now, I'm not going to say, what race you should choose. I'm not going to say you should date a white person or a Puerto Rican person or a Chinese person or whatever the case is. I just think people of different cultures, regardless, even if you're African American and you just decide to date someone who's from Nigeria, whatever the case is, I think that you should, just reach out and try to understand other cultures and how other people love, because I think, the way that African Americans do things inside of this country is so dysfunctional. And I think we just need to learn new and improved ways to build family and build relationships. So anyway, as I've been getting emails from people, talking to me about what's been happening to me lately, a lot of people are well, a lot of people come down on you for you telling your story. And it seems strange that that keeps happening to you. All you're doing is telling your story. I never seen so many people get upset with somebody telling their own business before. And a lot of people say that to me all the time. People are you spill your own tea. You tell your own shit. You talk about your journey and that's it. I don't understand why so many people are upset about that. And so here's my thing in regards to that. The reason why people get so upset when you tell your story is because, number one, they were taught to always keep whatever is happening to them inside and not to tell anyone, the negative things that's going on, or just in general. It's always, quote unquote, don't tell your business to certain people because you don't want to hear their judgment or their opinion. See, a lot of people say, hey, Soncerae is sensitive to other people's criticism. She doesn't like when people disagree with her. That's not true, because if I felt like that, I would not share the story at all. Because honestly, that's the main reason why people tell you not to tell your story, is because they are afraid of the responses of other people. Me, I don't care. I'll just block out some negative shit. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not going to drink the poison. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you disagree with me, or you may have a different perspective about how I live or whatever, still at the end of the day, I still get to decide whether I accept what you say or not. And it's a lot of times that people come into my comment section, or they come into my chat, and they speak so horrible because they're pretty much bad at communicating how they feel. Most people are horrible at communicating how they feel publicly and, privately amongst each other, because they're always taught, keep your feelings inside, keep your problems inside. If, you're feeling some type of way, maybe you're depressed, or you're going through grief, or you're going through sadness, it's not okay for you to vent. It's definitely not okay for you to vent publicly. So if you do that, people are going to look at you sideways. And, I'm just the type of person that I don't care what other people think about me. What I care about is the message, and what I'm saying, it reaches the people that it's supposed to reach. It helps the people that it's supposed to help. For the people that it does nothing for, or for the people that it doesn't apply to, I completely block those people out altogether. A lot of people feel like, well, because I share my story, it is imperative that they give me their opinion. Like, I have to accept their opinion, or their criticism, or their disapprovements, or whatever it is. But no, I still get a choice at the end of the day. Just because I'm telling you the story, again, doesn't mean I have to drink the poison. You see what I mean? So when you tell your story and you tell your journey, especially in regards to spreading awareness when it comes to domestic violence, or some type of sickness that you may have, or some type of, unfairness, how you've been treated in regards to, the law, or anything like that, when you do share your story, it gives you so much power. And there was a time where, people would say to you not to tell your story because they didn't want you to have that power. You telling your story and your experiences is very, very powerful. And a lot of people don't want you to have that type of power. So they programmed you not to tell your story, or to, feel like telling your story is embarrassing. Or, if you made a mistake, or if you did something ugly, or if you did something cruel and you want to change your life, or if you experience a hardship that may have changed you and grown, people don't want you to say, okay, this is how I improved in such and such way. And I didn't realize until I started talking about seriously going to California, how many people did not want to see that happen. Like, I would hear a lot of people say, she's not going to California. She's just saying that. She's not going nowhere. She's not pregnant. She just wants to use people for money. Any negative thing they could find to try to get me to, or others to, think I'm not going to improve, is because they themselves have not taken the step to try to improve their own lives. See, people will live a dormant life. People will live a life that they feel like is content. And if they see another person stepping out of that, or trying to move forward, or trying to improve, they disapprove of that themselves because of their own perception of reality, or their own experiences. Good morning, Sparkles and Anthony. Did I say Sparkles already? Bruna, Damon, what's up? Hey, you guys. I know it's early. I actually got up at like 5, like I usually do. And I'm really like hungry. I haven't even cooked yet, but I was like, let me do my live stream first and then cook. Because sometimes after I cook and I eat, I get really tired and I don't feel like talking. And I got like logos and shit to do. I really just don't have time for that. But when people hit me up and they're like, yo, I never seen so many people be so upset about somebody telling their story, or people be so upset about a person or try to make it seem like this person is lying about their own journey. And it's funny because my journey is not filled with, oh, I live this lavish lifestyle. I'm driving a Lamborghini. I'm traveling all over the world. Some unbelievable shit. It ain't like I'm telling y'all some shit that ain't never happened before to anybody. I'm talking about some stuff that happens to people all of the time. They just don't open up about it. And I think the people who happen to be supporting actors or actresses inside of my life, when they find out they're a part of this, story, and I have mentioned them being a part of my story, whether I mention their name or not, sometimes they kind of feel some type of way, especially if they did something negative. That guilt starts getting to them, even if I don't mention their name. It's still people out there that heard me tell a story, right? And I didn't mention their name, and they're so mad at me. They're like, you told that story, yeah, but nobody knows that I'm talking about you. So what difference does it make? But they feel some type of way about what they did, and they kind of just don't want anybody to know. So they feel like, oh, well, if I just told the story, and even if I didn't say their name, somebody got to know that it's them. That's guilt. It's like the guilt of what they've done. So, a lot of people learn from my situation. A lot of people have learned how to cope. Like you said, Sparkles, a lot of people have learned how to cope from my situation. I've learned how to cope from my situation. And talking about it actually helps you heal from a situation. Like holding that shit in and bottling it in doesn't help. Like it was a guy yesterday in a live stream talking about how I should see a counselor, and I told him I was seeing a counselor for our situation. Someone else mentioned that shit to me last night when I was telling them the story, because I got to tell everybody goodbye suddenly in Atlanta. Like I have so many people I know, so many associates and so many friends, and so many people want to see me before I go. And I just really literally do not have the time to sit down and see everybody. So I'm sitting here talking to everybody individually, telling them the situation. And a lot of them like, yo, with time, you and Pre should be okay. I think you should go to counseling. But you guys don't understand. I took him to counseling. We went to counseling, and he was acting like a complete asshole inside of the counseling session. He was very rude to the counselor. He was very rude to the doctor, like the doctor who performed the pregnancy test and the doctor that did the ultrasound. He was very rude to these people. So it's like you can try to have counseling with someone, but if they don't believe that speaking about their story or telling someone about their life is going to help them, then counseling does not work. So you can sit here and tell somebody all day to tell the truth to a professional, and that professional can help you iron out stuff. But if that person doesn't want to tell their story, or if that person doesn't want to heal or want to repair their situation, they're not going to be receptive to a counselor, or they're not going to be receptive to telling the truth. But I don't deserve to be in a situation where I'm verbally abused or spoken to negatively all the time, or put down. And on YouTube, right? Here's the thing about YouTube. On YouTube or any other social media network, or just in the world in general, when you are a person who is popular, or everybody may know your name, or maybe you're a celebrity, or maybe, everybody just knows you in the workplace or whatever, you can have a shitload of people love you. You know what I mean? Like there will be people that love talking to you, love being around you, just love your presence, your energy. But at the same time, it's going to be people out there that hate you. Regardless to what you do, every single person on this planet has someone that hates them for whatever reason. And a lot of the time, it never really has anything to do with you per se. It has to do with them and their perception of the reality. So like I was just saying earlier, as I sit here and I tell my own story and it makes other people feel uncomfortable, they're like, oh my God, She tells her business. I would never tell my business that way. That because you would feel uncomfortable doing it because you were taught, hey, don't tell your business. Whatever happens in this household stays in this household. You don't want to hear people's judgment. You don't want to hear people's opinions. You don't want people's criticism. And to me, that's not something I agree with. To me, I'll hear people's, opinions, and I'll hear, their critical thinking, and I'll hear all of that. But hearing it and absorbing it is two different things. Still, at the end of the day, you get to choose. You get to decide whether you want to listen to what people say. When people say bad stuff about you, you get to decide whether you want to believe that shit or not. And, there are people in my life who have come into my life and then heard somebody say some rumors about me, and instead of sticking around or knowing I'm not that type of person, they decided to join the bandwagon because they wanted to fit in. They wanted to, be a part of the squad of people or the bandwagon of people who felt negatively about me. So they just joined in with those people. It's a lot of people out there that don't think independently in regards to that. Me, I'm going to pick my friends the way I pick my fruit, and it's going to be what I want, not what other people say about my friend. Most of my friends, when they see other people speak negatively about me, they are so surprised because they say, hey, you must clearly don't know Soncerae because what you have to say about Soncerae is so off, because she's like nothing like that. And a lot of people who were watching my videos or may have heard something about me from some other channel or some YouTube creator have come to me and said, you know what? When I first heard about you, I didn't like you. I was skeptical of you. I had heard all of these things and all this other stuff about you. And now that I've listened to you myself, I love your videos. I love who you are. I love how honest you are. And that's amazing to me that in this world, there are going to be people that are sheeple, and then there are going to be people that literally think independently and go find out for themselves. And that's what I encourage people to do over here. When I talk about myself, I talk about myself. But if I happen to mention someone else who said something negative about me, I still want you guys to go over there and do your own research about that person. And then you get to decide at the end of the day how you want to feel about that person. I'm never going to try to control your mind. I'm going to encourage you to control your own mind and to do your own thing and be unique and do what's best for you, because your perception of reality is up to you. I have no say in that. Even if I tried to control your mind, I literally have no say in that. You'll let me control your mind because you are allowing me to. It will never be my choice. And so that's how I look at, hey, everybody. Hey, Maya, Cece, Nat. Hey, what's up, Nat? Anthony already said hi to Anthony. But I really, really just want people to understand my perspective in regards to me telling my stories. Everybody's like, Soncerae tells her business. She talks too much about her business. Yeah, it's mine. I can volunteer that information because it belongs to me. It isn't like I'm going out here telling somebody else shit. I'm telling you guys, my business. And the funny thing is, a lot more people give more respect to people who gossip and tell other people business than they do me. Like people get on YouTube and watch all of these gossip channels where they're talking about celebrities and who this celebrity gonna fuck this day and fuck that day and what this celebrity ate for breakfast or whatever the case may be. I don't do that. I just talk about myself and my story and in hopes that you listen to it and you improve your life, and you don't have to handle your shit the way that I do. You don't have to get onto YouTube and tell everybody your story. But it's people that do that. It's people that have blogs where they talk about the stuff that they did every day. People vlog on YouTube about their family. I seen one girl that I really, really enjoy on YouTube all of the time. Her name is Kendall Ray. Right. And she does. I'm really big into true crime. And a lot of people don't know that, but I'm really big into true crime. I love forensic files and investigation shows and Fatal Attraction. And, what's the other one? For My Man. And, Thou Shalt Not. I like shows that, talk about why people committed these crimes that they committed, whether it was robbing people or murdering people. And it's this girl on YouTube. Her name is Kendall Ray. And she does true crime. She talks about aliens. She talks about conspiracy. She talks about a whole bunch of stuff that's very, very interesting to me. And she has a shitload of subscribers. She's very, very popular. And so 2 days ago, I was just looking through her videos, you know, trying to find some new stuff of hers because I've completely watched this chick's entire fucking channel, right? And so I'm looking through her videos and I see these people making fun of her. Like, it's like different drama channels where they're making fun of her. And I was shocked because all she talks about is true crime on her channel. So why the fuck were these people going in on her? So then I started going through this like research on YouTube to see how many YouTube creators have gossip channels or other creators have created channels bullying these people or trying to make these people out to look bad. And you would not believe every single YouTuber I watch, the Bells Plus One, Domo and Chrissy, Nina Unrated, every single YouTube creator I watch who is completely bigger than me, every single one of them has like trolls who have created these negative channels about them. And I couldn't believe it because I was like, who has the time and energy to do this shit? Like, who has time and energy? You know? It's just, I could not believe this. And Kendall Ray was talking about her life. She was talking about how her husband had just bought a Colorado ranch earlier this year. And I guess some things happened and they couldn't afford it anymore. So she started asking for donations for people to help her because she was saying she couldn't get a regular job and do YouTube. She needed for YouTube to be her only job. And so she needed for people to donate so her and her husband could keep their house. And people were making fun of her for asking for donations. And it was a shame to me because it was like, wow, a lot of people don't understand that YouTube is a job. Like, people think that people who get onto YouTube and ask for donations, clearly they don't have a job. They're just poor. No, sometimes even if you're working a regular job, like say for instance, you're not on YouTube and you work at, I don't know, Walmart. Let's say you work at Walmart, you're getting a decent amount of income, you know, maybe you're the manager there. And then something happens, like maybe you crashed your car or maybe you had an injury or something, you had to go to the hospital, or maybe it could be anything. And suddenly you need a large sum of money because something happened and it set you all off course. You're going to need another source of income. So think of it that way. Yeah, YouTube gives us money every week. And it's some YouTube creators that aren't making any money, but they don't give us money every week. Excuse me. They don't give us money every week. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. They give us money every month. We get paid every month. And, you know, sometimes even if you're getting paid as a YouTube creator and that's it, sometimes you get into the same issues you would if you were working a regular job. And we all have experienced this. You can't tell me in this life you've been living out of all these years, if you've been taking care of yourself, that there's never been a time where something crazy happened where it knocked you off financially. And you was like, oh shit, now I need X, Y, and Z for a tire for my car. Or I need my car towed and then I got to pay the daily fee to keep the car inside of the pound. Or I got to, you know, it's always something. It's always something. Or maybe you have children and something happened at your child's school. Maybe they need money for, I don't know, uniforms. Or maybe your child plays football or something like that. And now they've come to you and say, hey, you got to pay this additional fee for your child to play basketball or to play football or to do cheerleading. You know, each of us has something in our lives that could knock us off course financially if we have a specific way that we are doing things and a specific places where our money goes. You know, so being an entrepreneur and working on YouTube, a lot of people, you know, like I said, a lot of people contact me and say, hey, why were you asking for donations? You don't have a job? Get your ass a job. How many times I got to say, number one, YouTube is a source of income for me and I have a graphic design company. But just how life happened to me where I lost 2 sources of income and I'm sitting in an extended stay hotel. That extended stay hotel was $300. That shit was $300 a week. I know people that cannot pay $300 a week and had groceries and pay for gas and, because that's a lot of money to a lot of people. And even when I was staying in extended stays, there were extended stays that we stayed at that was more than that. It would be like $450 a week. Add that up in your mind. What's $450 times 4? That's a lot of motherfucking money going down the drain. It ain't like it's money going towards something. Like maybe you are putting $450 a week towards a condo or $450 a week towards a mortgage, or some shit like that you're trying to build. That's $450 a week trying to, that's really just basically going down the drain. So as I sit here and I ask for like $5,000, a goal of $5,000. I remember Jay Fitness. I don't know if y'all know Jay Fitness. He comes into, what's Jay Fitness? What's his real name? I don't even know his real name. Anyway, he sent me a Excel spreadsheet that showed me the projections and predictions of all of my subscribers if they all donated $5. I was like, boy, you're so good at this. And he was talking about, hey, you could have more than $5,000 by the end of January if everybody donated such and such. And I asked me, last night you said you donated half of one of your business money to doing good in the hood. Kim Jackson is my first cousin. I asked her about it. So you asked her. Kim, I was doing her graphic design for a long time. So Kim knows I do graphic design, and she knows trying to give her donations for the t-shirts for Yaora. Me and her was doing Yaora together, not Yaora together, but me and her had made an arrangement where I told her if she helps me promote Yaora, I would give her a percentage of whatever I made off of the shirts. And so this is another thing that Priest had came onto his channel and tried to make it seem like I was stealing, right? Making it seem like I wasn't, I didn't make this arrangement with Kim. So I had to literally send him screenshots of when Kim and I sat down and talked about, Yaora. I told her, I said, if you promote Yaora and people buy a t-shirt from you, I will do your graphics for free. I used to do her flyers for $35 a flyer, right? So a Yaora shirt was $20. So I said, listen, if you sell a $20 shirt, I'll give you a flyer for free. Now, Kim used to order flyers ridiculously because, she's a promoter. She's an event coordinator. So she wanted flyers. Let me tell you, this girl would hit me up and want like 3 different flyers. And then she would want birthday flyers from those 3 different flyers. And I'm sitting here making flyers for Kim all day, every day. So when Yaora came and I wanted to sell tees, I told her, listen, if you sell this t-shirt, I'll give you your graphics for free. So that was me and her arrangement. Damon Beverly, getting knocked out financially usually happens more than not getting off. What? Getting knocked out financially usually happens more than not getting off. Write that again for me. Bruna, why didn't you stay with Airbnb? Bruna, I suggested Airbnb to Priest. I did. I suggested that. We just never. Here's the thing. I suggested a lot of things to Priest that was better than what we were doing. But for some reason, Priest always had a reason why. He always had a reason why he didn't want to do it. So it's just, I don't know. He's just annoying. Nat, yeah, we discuss a lot of things pertaining to that. Nat, so Kim, let me tell you something about Kim. My biggest thing with Kim, and my biggest thing is this with any of my graphic design clients. My biggest thing with Kim was, I need you to follow instructions, because if you follow instructions, it will make it easier for me to do your graphic. If I say to you, this is what I need it all in one email. I need it to be organized. That way I can give you a faster turnaround. Know what you want. Know what you want on the flyer. If you want pictures on it, send me the pictures and send me all of this stuff in one email. Right? Kim would not do this for her life, okay? Like Kim, oh my God. This would be the biggest thing I would argue about with Kim. I used to be like, girl, send me this in one email. Don't send me this one thing. Like she'd send me half of something on Facebook and the other half on Gmail. And then I'm like, you can't do that because I have so many graphic design clients and I do them in order. So you have to send it to me in one email and know what you want. And so then another thing that I had an issue with in regards to Kim was that she was working with promoters that were harming her financially and harming her potential. Because she had, like, Kim is one of those people, she could be one of the biggest promoters in the city of Atlanta, right? But her ass keeps fucking with these people that's not good for her. Like, and they use her, they misuse her, they lie to her, they trick her because she doesn't really know the game as well as they do. You know, she hasn't been doing it that long. Okay. Bruna Butterfly, but he was broke. Beggars must not be choosers. Well, Bruna, yes, Priest was broke, so he shouldn't have been so picky about where we lived, but that was the case. You know, he was like very, I don't know, he's picky. Here's my thing. I really feel like he was always the type of person that would make shit complicated for no reason at all. Like just to complicate life or to complicate a situation. It didn't really have to be that complicated at all. And I started to notice that towards the end, like with the situation with us, with the signing parental rights away thing. You don't want the baby, so just sign a parental rights away. No, I'm not going to do that. He doesn't want to do anything if it isn't his idea or his suggestion, but he doesn't come up with good ideas at all because he's not an idea person. You know, sometimes you have people who come up with good ideas and then you have other people who have other strengths in other places. He's not the type of person that critically thinks. He's not a critical thinker, you know, so when it comes to building businesses or to coming up with ideas or making suggestions on, you know, just how to improve, he's bad at that. He's very, very bad at that. Sounds like a bit of a diva, acting like a woman. Yeah, he does remind me of a woman. I'm not going to, listen, he does remind me of a woman in the sense of a diva type of act. Like, he used to want certain types of food, right? Like, for instance, okay, anybody, you all go to the grocery store. You know that there are grocery stores that have the cheapest food and you have grocery stores that have expensive food. So you got Kroger, you can get your Kroger Plus savings, you know, and then you got Publix, and then you got Whole Foods, and then you got, what's the other one? Trader Joe's. And it gets expensive as you start going up. So as we're sitting here and we're trying to find a place to stay, and I'm telling him, hey, we might want to just start saving. I'm like, maybe we should start going to Kroger for stuff. But that's not what he would do. We're sitting here sleeping in the back of a motherfucking Explorer. And instead of him getting Kroger food, he decides he wants to go to Publix and spend ridiculous amounts of money on Publix. Or he's the type of person that it's like he wants to be rich. But the little bit of money that he has, instead of saving it or putting it towards something to make him rich, he'll just go out there and spend his money like he's rich and then suddenly not have any money. And so that's a problem for me because I'm like, listen, I've been wealthy. I know when it's time for me to not spend money and when it's time for me to spend money. Like, for instance, like I said in a previous video, that he was living off of his wife's inheritance. Like, her mother had passed and I guess she got life insurance money. And they also had money from when they sold their home. They used to live in like this home. So Priest got, I don't know, I'm thinking $10,000. He got $10,000 lump sum. Instead of him taking some of that money and putting it towards a business or putting it towards maybe investing, because he always said he wanted to be an investor. And I don't know why his wife didn't teach him this, because supposedly she's the smart one. in the relationship, but she didn't teach him how to invest his money to do some day trading or some shit like that. That's what he should have did with his money, but he didn't. He went on trips. He went to the Dominican Republic. He spent ridiculous amounts of money there on prostitutes and liquor. And then he came back here and spent his money on clothes and True Religion and, you know, shit he didn't need, shoes and stuff like that. And so now he's walking around with all of these clothes that he really takes pride in, because that's really all he had in our storage unit was a whole bunch of clothes and shit, because he wants to look like he's wealthy versus actually being wealthy. It's a difference. And a lot of people, especially inside of the Black community, don't understand that it's a difference between looking wealthy versus actually being wealthy. And so my goal inside of the relationship was to teach priests, you know, really how to deal with money and really how to deal with finances and how to actually save and still be able to, you know, do what you want to do. Me, I'm the Groupon coupon cutting, like frugal, give me a deal type of chick. You know, regardless to how much money I have, I'm not. I think I learned my lesson the first time around when I had a lot of money. Like I had a shitload of money around, I don't know, I think it was I think it was 2007 through 2009. I had a shitload of money, and I would buy people TVs and give damn people all types of money. Like people would ask me for money, I just give them money. A bum would be on the street to ask me for $1 and I give him $100 bill. Like shit like that I would do. Then sometime before last year was what, 2016, 2014 to 16, I had a shitload of money, right? So even then I meet some people who wanted to start certain businesses, and I started investing my money and my time into their business, not understanding that that was going to go down the drain because of their business ethics and how they handle business. So this time around, when I do get my shit back together and I start making that much money again, what I'm going to do is be very selective about the businesses that I invest in. Damon, I'm sorry, I'm at work doing two things at once. I just want to say you will have less money than you have more money at times. Well, yeah, I mean, because for me, if I want to shop or if I want to go on a trip, I save that money. Because see, I have like regular everyday money where I pay my bills. Like what I used to do with Dominique, when I would get paid, right, I would give Dominique money weekly, right, and put some money to the side for me to shop whenever I feel like it. But I would do that after I paid all the bills. I usually pay all my bills first and then go buy whatever. And I would have to accumulate that money first. Bruna, I like to shop at Kroger, Aldi, and Walmart. Very affordable prices. Right. I just want something that's affordable while I'm living this certain standard. Now, when I start making more money, then I'll start, you know, buying the food that I can afford. You have to live below your means. That's how you end up being financially stable, living below your means. Like I'll go to a fucking Family Dollar in a heartbeat and buy some shit. Like instead of me going to a regular store to get some pads or some toilet paper or some soap or, you know, whatever, Pop-Tarts, I'll go to the fucking Family Dollar and buy all of that shit. You know, I'm not going to go to Publix and go buy deodorant and toilet paper and, you know, foil and shit like that when I could get it much cheaper somewhere else. Now I might go to Publix to get meats, because you don't want to put just any meat in your mouth, you know what I mean? But for the most part, I'm frugal. Bruna, I just couldn't put up with a man like that. Why you're so strong and patient, I just can't. Well, that's what I was saying. You know, it makes me feel some type of way that I put up with a lot. I had a lot of patience with him. So when he started complaining about the things that he had to deal with me in regards to when I got sick and how he had to clean up the bathroom, you know, and how he was complaining about my pregnancy. You know how when you get pregnant, you get a discharge. He was complaining about the discharge. And y'all saw that video I did about body odor. He was complaining about that. And my thing was I dealt with his, like him smelling like bile when he would, because he had GERD. So he would smell a certain way if he ate a certain thing. Like he couldn't eat like cakes and sweets and desserts and shit like that because it literally would make him smell like acid, like throw up. You know how throw up smells if it's like been sitting? It really stinks. So he would smell like that and his breath would smell so bad. I would be putting up with it because I loved him. I cared about him deeply. So it wasn't like this big deal, but he's so complicated in so many different ways. He's like a motherfucking mogwai. He's like fucking, like, don't feed him after midnight. Don't put water on him type of motherfucker. He's like Gizmo in this shit, in this bitch. Because he comes with so many fucking instructions. You can't do this. You can't say this. You can't move this way. You can't eat that way. He was even changing my diet. Like the other day I was at Family Dollar. I said, thank God I could eat me some Oreos because I have been dying to eat Oreos since like fucking June, but I couldn't eat them because he didn't want me eating too much of anything, like any snacks, anything. Like he would make me feel guilty for having a motherfucking snack because he couldn't eat it. Or there's certain fruits and citruses and stuff he couldn't eat. But if I ate the fruit in front of him, he made me feel some type of way about it. It was just horrible. It was like, nigga, I got to put up with so much with you and you can't even deal with the fact that I'm sick during pregnancy, a temporary thing when your everyday shit is heavy. Like, I just can't with this nigga. Anyway, even the clothes I get are usually Shoppers World, Rainbow, Walmart, and Route 21 clearance. Bruna, high five, motherfucker. Listen, I go to Route 21 in a heartbeat. I used to love Dots. Dots, they don't have Dots anymore, but they have Rainbow. I used to love Dots because Dots I could get my professional wear from. And it would be on the low, but it would still look nice. Me, I'm frugal when it comes to clothes. I will go to a consignment shop. I'm not the type of person, I'm not a label hoe. He was a label hoe. He used to wear True Religion. He used to want all of these fancy clothes all the time. And I was like, nigga, I guess because you a man, that matter. But for me, my ass is going to get what's cheap and what look nice. All right. Nat Turner, sir, were you a millionaire between 2007 and 2009? How did you obtain your millions? Okay, this is what happened with my millions. Okay, not millions. All right, one. So me and my mother, like my mother got sick for years, and it was because they cut out some of her intestine, right? So she got a settlement for it. And so what we took was a piece of that money and started a business. I started a business and she started a business. And so between that money and the businesses that we started, that's how the millions came. It wasn't that I was given a inheritance of $1 million. It was the things that we did in addition to the money that we got that made the $1 million. Now, it was easy to also drain this money at the same time because friends ask you for money, family asks you for money. I was shopping every day. And I don't mean shopping every day like going to go get a Louis Vuitton bag or some Marc Jacobs or some shit. My ass was going to Walmart every day just to buy some shit. Off of a whim, it was just like, you know what? I need such and such. I'm just going to buy them. Like, fuck that. I need ankle socks. I'm about to go buy a lifetime supply of motherfucking ankle socks. Little shit like that. Or, you know, like I said, with the homeless people, like I'll be out in Walmart and I just left Walmart. I got bags in my hand, but I also got cash. So bum come to me and say, hey, can I have $1? And I give them $100. It was a combination of that, but it was easy to lose $1 million. Like $1 million is not a lot of money. $50,000 ain't even a lot of money, but a lot of people think that. But once you get it and you see how fast you can spend it to no limit. And let me tell you something about having so much money. It is so comfortable. Like you almost forget how much money you got. If you don't pay attention to what you spending and you don't look at your account every day to see what you're doing, you will breeze through that money like it is nothing. And I learned that shit beforehand. And I think Will Smith was kind of saying the same thing because Will Smith lost his first $1 million and went bankrupt. And you had to learn the lesson first, because when you go from not having any money at all to suddenly having money, you get scared. Now, I remember when the settlement first came and I didn't want to spend money on shit. Like my mother was spending money. She could not get me to spend money. She was like, son, you need to go buy this and buy that. I said, I'm not spending it because I'm scared What if we lose it? What if we could get back into poverty? What if and I was just like, I'm scared. So for the first 3 months of the settlement, I didn't spend any money. And I started looking at my mother. My mother was getting her hair done, her nails done. She was starting her own business and all this stuff. I was like, look at my mother. I said, you better go, Mom, right? You better do that shit. And so then I just started, I started feeling more comfortable. I started, going to, out buying a little stuff at first. And then gradually I just started buying what I wanted. It just came with time. Okay. And some of you old coders, I remember a food drive you did. Oh, my old videos. I used to do events. I used to do, even when I would do like regular club events. For the holidays, when I would do regular club events in Atlanta, I would do blanket drives. I would have people bring blankets and they would get half off of their cover coming into the club. I would do like food and can drives and all types of stuff in Atlanta. So I've always been the type of person that donate and give, but my generosity and my kindness has harmed me just as much as it's helped. Bruna, I was his babysitter. Shut up. I know. I felt like that. I was Priest's babysitter. I know. I felt like that. Sparkles, I wish I lived in the U.S. I'm in London and people are so damn judgmental. You feel like you have to wear certain clothes to fit in. They're like that in the United States too. Some people. Like you can't go around a shitload of people who, like, for instance, you can't go to the club of a certain social circle of people who wears a certain type of handbag, a certain type of shoe, a certain type of whatever, and then think they're going to accept you. And that's how Atlanta is. I'm not going to say that's how other places is, but in Atlanta, if you could be around a group full of women and they all seem to be dressed alike, right? And you're looking like, all y'all wearing the same shoes. All y'all basically got a derivative of the same handbag. All y'all wearing the same hairstyle. And if you don't do that, they won't accept you inside of their social circle. I mean, think about when you watch these reality shows, right? Excuse me. You got Real Housewives of Atlanta. You got Wags Atlanta. You got all these different reality shows. And when you look at these women, even on Love and Hip Hop, when you look at these women, right, on these shows, they identical. They wear like the same hair, the same, it's rare that you find a woman inside of these social circles that steps out on her own and wears what she wants. You have to keep up a certain facade. So that means you have to have a certain type of handbag. Like Hazel E. Hazel E always talking about all of the shit she wear all the time, the name brands. They like to throw out the name brands like that shit relevant at the end of the day. It's not. What clubs in Atlanta have you done promotion at? Nat Turner. I've done promotion at so many goddamn clubs. So many clubs. Because I did it for so long. I'm not even going to sit here and name them. Oh my God. You have to go on Facebook. Go on Facebook and look like all of the flyers to the events that I did, all of the pictures at the events, and they're still there. They're still there, but it's so many pictures and so many events and so many flyers. You're going to be digging deep into that shit. Just go look. Yeah, Atlanta is very pretentious, Sparkles. Atlanta's like one of those places where you got to put on a facade. And if you want to fit in, and I think Priest has adopted this, I want to fit in, type of thing. This is why it's so easy for him to get on YouTube and get into this thing with the men on YouTube who hate black women and speak negatively about me. It was easy for him to fall victim into that, if you haven't noticed. Like, he gets some type of thrill off of making videos because he likes the response that these men are giving them, where they telling him they hate me, I'm bad news, I'm a horrible woman, I'm a trick, I'm a hoe. It's easier for somebody to believe what a group of people are telling them, regardless to how negative it is or incorrect it is. It's easier to do that instead of actually taking the time to think independently or putting in the complex work of figuring out some shit on your own. And so a lot of people fall victim to that because they don't take the time to go, look for themselves. And basically, I was just saying that earlier in the beginning of this live stream. But Damon, having millions like that will leave fast out your hands. Yes, it's like money. When you got a lot of it, you're so free. It's like you're not thinking. You're just spending it because you're so, especially once you get used to having it. Like once you're used to having it and you're used to just kicking out the bread whenever, regardless, like I go out with my friends and be the one that paid for the tab. So people would love going out with me because I buy food for everybody and it'll be 20 people sitting at the table. And they just, and people was just starting to hang out with me all the time because I was just a chick who would always spend money. My friends would come to me and be like, yo, I need money for my rent. I give them rent money for the next 2 months. And I'll just hand that to them. Or I'll be like, yo, let me go to the bank right quick. I'll give you rent money for June and July. Shit like that. Like when you got friends like that, you know, or when you become that person, you got to be careful about who you choose to be friends with. Because people will literally be around you just for that. Oh, I'm going to go in Soncerae's VIP section because I know if I go in Soncerae VIP section, she's going to buy me whatever bottle I want. That's another reason why if you look on my Facebook page and you look back into my pictures and you see me around groups of people, I'm talking about 20, 30 people in the picture. It's because my ass used to be in the club buying everybody drinks. And that is what made me really, really, really just be like, you know what? I can't fuck with this. You said you were dealing with Chris Law almost 10 years ago. That's almost 10 years ago. Chris came after my money. Chris came, I said 2009. I said 2007 to 2009. In some of 2010, a little bit of 2010. 2010, 2011 is when things started getting bad. That's why I said when Chris came around, I really just needed him to be like someone to help me get through the transition. Chris wasn't around me when I had money. Chris was around me when everything was declining. I had just broke up with somebody. Like I had been engaged 3 times already, but the last guy I was engaged to, and the people when people say to me, yo, you should move fast, you priest move too fast. Yo, the last guy I was engaged to, we was friends for 5 years before we got engaged, and he still fucked me over. And he was actually on Jap channel too. Chris and Jap actually talked to that guy. His name was Lloyd. And so they brought him onto the show too. And Lloyd, what's funny is when Jap and when Jap asked Lloyd to be on the show, Lloyd contacted me and told me he wasn't going to do it. And then suddenly he did it anyway. It went on to Jap's show lying about some shit, and some other people lied to him about some type of miscarriage or some shit like that, or abortion or some shit. I don't even remember what it was, but I remember that was the last miscarriage I had. But anyway, Lloyd came around after the money too. Lloyd was kind of like Priest, where they both lied a lot. So it's funny that I'm looking back almost 10 years ago when I was dating Lloyd, and I could look at Priest and I could see the similarities in the two of them because they both lied like a motherfucking rug. So it's like hard to believe anything that they say. But yeah, Chris Law came after that. Chris, I don't know if people think I should be upset at Chris for talking, because somebody asked me yesterday in the live stream, was I upset that Chris came on to defend himself? For the record, if anybody's, wondering, I don't mind that Chris went on to Jap's show. I was more upset with Jap for actually being a part of something that wasn't his business. You see what I'm saying? Like, why would Jap do that? That's what my biggest concern was. So anyway, oh my God, Sparkles, I can't fucking stand Miami. I've been to Miami. Listen, last year, Daddy-O took me to Miami twice. I hate Miami for some reason. I love Jacksonville and I love Naples. He took me to Naples. I cannot stand Miami. I don't know why. I just hate it. It's like a 24-hour party and shit. Or it could have been just where in Miami I was at. Because he had us on South Beach. And I was just like, oh my God, I hate this shit. Anyway, is the reason you're so giving because you just want to be loved and accepted? No, that's not why. I'm just giving. I just always been giving. Like, I don't know. I just always been nice. I've been like this since I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like when I was really young, like in elementary school and stuff, and I was nerdy and I was geeky and I was, my mother was very kind. And she taught me to always be kind, like be generous, be sweet, be nice. You don't have to be mean to anybody. And I always been like this gentle soul, this gentle person. And, you know, my mother just always encouraged me to be that person. She used to encourage me not to fight. She used to be like, if somebody hits you, don't hit them back. Go tell the teacher. Don't hit people. It's not nice to hit people. You know what I mean? Now I'll fuck somebody up if they hit me. But, you know, back then I never used to hit people. So if people used to hit me, I never hit them back. So I used to get abused a lot when I was a kid, even by like adults, because my mother said to me, don't hit anybody. So I listened to her. And I don't know. I just always been very nice and very gentle and meek. And, you know, that's genuinely the person that I am. Like, if you was to live with me yourself, you would actually see how quiet I am, how I don't really like to talk that much. Sometimes I just want to be quiet and I want to chill. You know, sometimes I want to just read, and, you know, I'm a very quiet person. Like, if you lived with me, sometimes you wouldn't even be able to know I'm in the house. That's how quiet I am. I'm just very, like, I don't know, I'm a very meek, very gentle person. And the strong person that I am on YouTube, or the strong person that I have to be when I'm handling business, that's someone I have to be when it's time for me to be that. But usually on a regular day-to-day basis, I'm like this sweet, kind, like very genuine, like very nice person. Not because I need acceptance, no. Just because, like I said a million times, Red, I don't give a fuck about what people think. I mean, if I wanted acceptance and love from people, trust me, my stories on YouTube would be very different, because the responses that I get from people that find out that I tell my story, or the responses, like, for instance, with this whole thing with Chris Law and him saying he saw men run a train on me. No one would know about that story if I wouldn't. Well, I'm not going to say no one, because he was running his mouth in Atlanta. But nobody on YouTube would know that story if I wouldn't have said anything. If I wanted acceptance from people, that's not a story you want to tell people. You know, you don't want to get onto you. If you're looking for acceptance and for people not to judge you, if you're looking for people that, you know, not going to criticize you, you just not going to tell the mistakes you made, or you're not going to tell, you know, the stories that everybody else is scared to tell. Good looking hunky. I told my, I'm gonna need for you to change your name, good looking hunky. I told my story, it backfired on me. I'm gay. Well, let me tell you something about that. Being gay and telling your story, you are going to get people that are not going to like that. So what? You feel what I'm saying? Like, first of all, homosexuality is about to be something that's extremely acceptable, because as the years have gone by, I've seen people be more acceptable with that. I've seen more gayness on TV. I've seen more just homosexual shit all over the place. Everybody is starting to accept it. But we're in a transitional state where people are starting to be comfortable with other people being individuals. It's going to take a while before people start feeling comfortable with people being individuals. I mean, we just had our first black president. Okay. Before that, it was no such thing as we're going to have a black man in office. All right. So you have to understand, people are starting to accept the differences in people and the diversity and the choices that people are making. We're just going through a transitional stage. So just give that time. Like, I'm pretty sure our grandkids or our grandkids' kids, some of them will be gay and won't nobody even care. Like, being gay will be just as equal as being heterosexual. That's what I think. And I think being a man will be as equal as to being a woman. You know what I mean? Because remember, there was a time where women, we couldn't vote. We couldn't do shit. Now we go out here, we get our own money, we do our whatever. Because it's a whole bunch of women that went up there and fought for that. Like, if it wasn't for you saying, hey, I'm gay, homosexuals would have no rights. If it was no women out there saying, hey, I'm a woman, I should be able to go out there and do what I want, there will be no women working right now. So you have to tell your story and say, hey, this is what's happening and I'm not standing for it. Everybody should be able to do what the fuck they want to do on this planet before we die. We only come on this bitch once. Like, let us do what we want to do as long as we ain't killing and hurting nobody else. Shit, let us be gay. God damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit. Okay. Dina Jones. Good looking hunky. It doesn't matter whether you're flaming gay or not. I think you doing more harm being on the down low than you are being flaming gay. Because when you're on the down low, you're not telling other people. You're lying to certain people and you're misleading certain people. So you are hurting people. But if you're flaming gay and you're saying, fuck that, I'm gay, and you wear a neon sign, you know what I'm saying? You can't fool nobody. Can't nobody get hurt. They could just avoid you if they don't like gay people. Anyway, so Dina, do you believe Priest was a narcissist? Yeah, after everybody told me that he was a narcissist, I started looking into it. I've been listening to your story, and it seems like Priest may have been a covert narcissist. Well, Dina, when people started telling me, when I first started telling me the story, when I first started telling the story about me and Priest, inside of the comment section, everybody was like, he's a narcissist, he's a narcissist, he's a narcissist. I was like, why do people keep saying this shit in my comment section? So I said, I'm going to go look. And I went and I looked, and that's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is. And it just was like, wow, I mean, what? Like, I didn't even know it was that serious. But just a few days, not a few days ago, but about a week ago, I said I wasn't going to talk about him anymore. I want everybody to stop asking me about him. I want everybody to leave me alone about him. I don't want to say shit else about him. Stop talking to me about Priest, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting sick of it, right? But then I realized the more I sat here and fought against everybody asking me questions about Priest, the more questions you guys were going to ask me. So I said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just let go, let it flow, and talk about him. And let people ask me questions about him and just answer the questions and get it out the way. And just let it slowly die down on its own. Because trying to force it to stop isn't working. So I was like, all right, let me just answer everybody's questions. Let it flow. It'll die down on its own. Eventually, people will stop asking me questions about Priest, and I never have to talk about him again. And that's what's literally is starting to happen. Like, people are starting to not ask me as many questions as they did before. So, but I am going to go eat now. It has been an hour. I will see you guys later on my next live stream. I try to live stream twice a day. If you want to donate, please go to Soncerae.com and click on the donation tab and donate there, or you can donate via PayPal to welovesoncerae@gmail.com. I'm still trying to get that $5,000 because when I go to Cali, I got so many things I got to do when I get there. Like, I got to go to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor within the next 2 weeks, so y'all should see an update for that. I'll be on later at like 7. Matter of fact, I might do 4 or 7. Because I've been trying to do 3 live streams a day because I did a poll on my YouTube channel to see what you guys wanted to see more of. And what you guys wanted to see more of was live streams. And I think it was just simply the interaction, not really to have to see me, but the interaction. But somebody asking a live stream, when are you guys going to see me again? And I said this before, you're not going to see me again until I get to California. I'm going to show you when I get to California. Then you'll see, you know, what I'm telling you is the truth, because a lot of people don't believe I'm actually going. I'm actually going. I will be going Saturday. When I get to Cali, I'll make sure I'll do a live stream from the airport. How about that? The second I touch down in Cali, I'm going to get on live stream and I'm going to do like a little small, if my phone worked, shit. Because remember, I am in Atlanta, so my phone may not work when I get out there. So I just, when I get to Cali and I'm out there and I'm settled, or I'm out with my family or something, I'll put my mother on camera, because my mother, she always loved to be on camera anyway. So I'll show you guys me then, okay? I appreciate you watching. Have vision and stay focused. Namaste.